Chapter 1. Let Them Eat Cake. Lazuli Longstick, Laz to his friends, winced with every creak and pop the air duct made as he slithered through the narrow passage. As a fairy elf, he had an innate dislike of enclosed spaces, but his diminutive size made him one of the best greasemen you could hope to employ. "Laz, what's your status?" Dirk asked through the speaker held against his ear by the elastic waistband of a pair of underwear sacrificed for the cause. Dirk Dewberry was a renowned smuggler, con man, and all-around rogue. He and his crew had made a name for themselves all across the known galaxy, their reputation and exploits as renowned amongst the seedy underground as it was with law enforcement. "I should be getting close," Laz said in an unusually deep baritone. "Any problems yet?" "Not yet. Shouldn't be any as long as punks can keep the alarms off."
"The alarms will stay off as long as this collection of garbage doesn't take a shit on me,"
Punks snapped. Punks was a waifish girl with a bob haircut parted down the middle, half cobalt blue and half brilliant pink. Her purple eyeshadow and green lipstick rounded out her rainbow clown facade. Whatever opinion Dirk had about her sense of style, he kept it to himself since her hacking skills were second to none. A brusque East Coast voice cut in. "Don't you worry about my work. That hack-a-deck is made from the finest cardboard traced in gum foil you'll ever find. I sacrificed my electric toothbrush and 2 sex toys to build it. It'll hold." Maddith Redborn, also known as Red, was a dwarven engineer who could build a spaceship out of general household items given enough time, duct tape, and chewing gum. Punks crinkled her nose, which only highlighted the small wrinkles normally present.
"I'm not sure which parts came from what, but by the smell of them, they were all up your ass at one time or another."
"Don't you worry about what's been up whose ass, girlie."
"Okay, team, let's focus," Dirk said. "This one is for all the money. Laz, you about there?"
"Yeah, boss, I'm there. I can see the package through the grate."
"Awesome. Just remember, punks couldn't deactivate the floor alarms from the system she had access to."
"Got it." Laz worked the grate covering the air duct free, tied a string to it, and let it hang open by its hinges. He worked his way forward until his entire torso was sticking out of the vent before hurling himself out into open air. His gossamer wings spread out and beat wildly to arrest his fall. The fairy elf hovered a moment as he listened for alarms. Hearing nothing, he descended the few feet to where the package lay atop a stainless steel table in the middle of the room. Laz didn't know if he'd set off the floor sensors if he landed on the table, so he chose caution and picked up the box without touching anything else, praying there wasn't a pressure sensor beneath it. Still no alarms. He breathed a small sigh of relief as he buzzed back toward the vent. The package was quite a bit heavier than he expected, but he was up to the task of carting it away. After all, the heavier the heist, the better the payoff. Pushing the box into the vent ahead of him, Laz grabbed the string he had tied to the gate and pulled it shut behind him. He secured the loose end of the duct wall with a wad of chewing gum to make sure it didn't fall back open before they could divvy the loot and get away scot-free. It was a long trek through the narrow confines, but several minutes later, Laz reached the room where his crew eagerly awaited his return. When the grate dropped open, Brick, an ogre from the Stonebiter clan, reached up to take the package as he was the only one tall enough to reach it. Brick was an intimidating sort, standing almost 8 feet in height with skin the color, texture, and resilience of gravel. He passed the box to Dirk, who slowly opened the lid as the others gathered around him. Dirk knew there was nothing magical about the contents, not in the arcane sense anyway, but he swore it gave off the brilliant glow of a legendary artifact from an age lost to time and technology. His smile grew even wider as he read the elegant words scrawled across his prize. "Happy birthday, Rakish." "You idiots went through all this trouble for a bloody cake?" a tall, fit elf woman demanded. Geraldine Valdark was once the lieutenant commander of the Fey Alliance Navy, but due to a rash action of conscience now found herself in the current mixed company. Dirk ran a finger through the icing and popped it into his mouth. "Nope. Chocolate."
"Oh, thank the gods," Punks drawled. "You never know with trolls. It could have been made of baby arms or something."
Red grinned and gyrated his hips.
"If it's a baby arm you're after." "Ew, gross."
Raphael Fansler, a vacant-eyed half-elf and the last member of Dirk's crew, stared longingly at the cake. "Oh, man. This is going to go so good with the toilet wine I made, or the urinal meth." By the way, I got some serious munchies going on. Geraldine shot them all a disgusted look. What I mean is that you violated innumerable rules. Dirk waved a hand. Rules are made to be broken. Rules are made to create a lawful and orderly society, regardless of the rules. That's my motto. The elf glared at him. Regardless of the rules, what happens if Rakish finds out you stole his birthday cake? Dirk spoke as he cut the cake into equal-sized slices, except for Bricks, who had successfully argued that he required a larger piece due to his size, as he talked. For one thing, Rakish won't ever find out we took it. If anything, he'll blame, and probably murder, and possibly eat, the kitchen crew. For another, even if he did somehow find out we ate the cake, he's locked up in the Supermax ring and couldn't get to us if he wanted to. Barring a long spacewalk without a vac suit, the only way to get from the Supermax ring to Gen Pop is through a single, very secure and well-guarded connecting corridor. We're fine. Rakish has nearly as much pull in this prison station as the warden. He wouldn't even have to come here and kill us all himself. He could get one of any number of his gang to do it, or even one of the bloody guards he has on his payroll. Are you saying you don't want some cake? Dirk asked as he passed out the pieces. I'm sure Brick would love to have your piece if your overly vaunted sense of propriety recuses you from partaking of this bounty. What's on the dinner menu for tonight? Gruel and protein bars? I'm pretty sure it's gruel and protein bars, given that that's the only thing they serve here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Geraldine's face reddened. It's an overly vaunted sense of self-preservation, not propriety. Dirk held up a piece of cake. I'm pretty sure it's both. So, no cake? The elf snatched the chocolatey confection. Yes, I want the goddamn cake. Her knees nearly buckled as she took a bite. Oh, God, this is worth dying for. See? Even if Rakish finds out and wants to take issue with it, Brick already kicked his ass once. Bit his fucking ear off, right, big guy? Dirk beamed as he took a huge bite of cake. Brick was Laz's polar opposite. Where the elf fairy's voice was unusually deep for his diminutive size, Brick's voice was surprisingly soft and carried a slight lisp. Yeah, that's right, Brick replied to the elf's questioning look. And his penis. Dirk barely got his hand up in time to catch the cake he involuntarily spit out of his mouth. Geraldine's eyes widened to the size of saucers. Red stopped chewing and stared, and Punks' jaw hung down, her half-chewed bite of cake rolling out of her mouth and onto the floor. I'm sorry, what? Dirk asked, certain he had heard wrong. Brick shuffled his feet. I bit off his penis. When? How? You remember, I told you he jumped me in the shower. Yeah, you said you bit off his ear. You didn't say anything about biting off his cock. Brick flicked his eyes to his disgusted yet enraptured audience. You see the judgmental looks you're all giving me right now? That's why I didn't say nothing. No matter the circumstance, you tell someone you had another man's penis in your mouth, you get all kinds of judgment. No matter what else you do for the rest of your life, you'll always be the guy who bit off a man's penis. I want to be more than that guy. You get no judgment from me, Red piped in. Dirk went to rub his temples before remembering he had a chewed-up piece of cake in his hand. He popped the soggy remains back into his mouth and swallowed. How exactly did you come to biting his dick off? I mean, I'm just trying to follow the chain of events that led you to having his rocket dock with your airlock. Brick shrugged. When a naked man tries to choke you out with a poorly executed leg lock, you're going to get your penis bit off. It's a basic cause and effect situation. Dirk slowly nodded his head. I can see how something like that could happen. Now? He grinned. So, did you merely trim his branch or go clean shorn? Beg pardon? I don't follow. You know, was it just his dick, or did you get the testicles too? Brick gave Dirk a horrified look. What? No, there's no situation anywhere in the universe where putting a man's balls in your mouth would ever be an appropriate response. What the fuck is wrong with you? Dirk held up his hands and took a step back. Sorry, I didn't realize there was such a division between the two. Yeah, well, there is. A pretty big fucking division. An ocean-sized division.